The I-70 killer. The name itself evokes fear. In the spring of 1992, a series of cold-blooded murders haunted small towns along the I-70 highway, a case that remains unsolved to this day. Over a span of just 29 days, 6 innocent people were brutally shot, each killed with a single bullet to the back of the head. The killer struck quickly and disappeared just as fast, leaving only fear and confusion in their wake. The first victim was 26-year-old Robin Feldauer, a store clerk working in an Indianapolis Payless shoe store on April 8, 1992. Just after noon, her lifeless body was discovered in the back of the store, shot execution style. Her cash register was untouched. This was only the beginning. 2 days later, the killer struck again, this time in Wichita, Kansas, where Patricia Smith and Patricia Majors were working at a bridal shop. Both women were found shot in the same cold, calculated manner. The bridal store wasn't far from I-70, and authorities soon began to connect the dots. But by the time they realized they were dealing with a serial killer, it was too late. The murderer had already moved on. By the end of April, 3 more people had been killed. 40-year-old Michael McCown in Indiana, Nancy Kitzmiller, 24, in Missouri, and 37-year-old Sarah Blessing in Missouri. Each of them worked at a small specialty store near the interstate. Each of them were alone when they were murdered, and none of their stores were robbed. Investigators were puzzled. The killer's pattern was erratic, targeting different types of stores, but the method remained the same: a lone victim shot from behind. And though there were several witness descriptions, the suspect's appearance was always vague. A white male, possibly in his 30s, with reddish or light brown hair. Despite the enormous media coverage and law enforcement's best efforts, the killer vanished, leaving no traces behind. Decades have passed, and the I-70 killer has never been caught. No new leads, no arrests, just lingering fear in these quiet towns. Some believe the killer may have died, or perhaps moved elsewhere, preying on other unsuspecting victims. We may never know. Before I continue, have you liked and subscribed yet? If not, go ahead and do so. I appreciate it.
Authorities in those departments now believe all 6 of the murders are connected. According to police in Raytown, ballistics information has linked the double homicide in Wichita on April 8th to the 4 prior murders. Kansas City authorities confirmed that by telephone today.
Yes, 1 to 8th in Indianapolis, and then across, I'm going to say it's probably about 350 miles to Wichita, Kansas, and then back to Cherry Hill, Indiana on the 27th. Of April, and then St. Charles, Missouri.
St. Charles authorities participated in today's meeting as well.
Well, this particular person is mobile, is quite obvious, so that makes it very difficult to catch someone like that. But we do have the capability of comparing our notes with those of the investigators in other cities.
A 4-state alert is currently in place for the gunman, who authorities now believe may be a hitchhiker.
We haven't had any information that he's been seen in a vehicle.
Today, we remember the victims of the I-70 killer. Robin Feldauer, Patricia Smith, Patricia Majors, Michael McCown, Nancy Kitzmiller, and Sarah Blessing. Their families continue to seek closure, even as the mystery remains unsolved.